Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome everyone to our New Year's celebration. Really, it's a celebration and bringing in the new year with a new attitude and new methods and new thoughts and new techniques for manifestation for you to have whatever it is that you wish. Not just words, but practical ways to achieve it. That's what we're here for today. Using the genius insight as a way to get that nice focus, that focus of thought. Let's go ahead and get that started. Often there is a desire. We all have desires at the new year. We want to have our resolutions and set our goals, but we often give up on them so quickly. And after a while, sometimes we even become intimidated to even dream those dreams or set those resolutions. So what can we do? What can we do this year that won't feel like such effort, that could be effortless, and we could learn to have more effortless manifestations? What can we do to achieve that? And can the Genius Insight, a biofeedback app, help us to do it? I want to share with you that yes, it's entirely possible to do that. And I want to just share with you sort of what's happening on the planet right now and how all of that plays into how you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and what your possibilities and potential are. So again, thank you for being here. If you don't know who I am, or this is the first webinar that you've come to with me, this is Dr. Ariel Policano. I'm a naturopathic doctor in Portland, Oregon. And my specialty is energy medicine, teaching about resonance and biofeedback and how biofeedback can change your health and change your life. And a lot of that is what we're talking about here today. It's more of that, but it's in the service of helping you to get clear about what do you want for the next year or the next week or the next month or the next, the rest of your life. Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Do we have sound? Let me know if you guys can hear me, let me know. If you guys have good sound, let me know. Now I'm nervous that you guys haven't heard anything I've said. Okay, we have sound. Okay, hey, and Sophie, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm going to be asking all of you questions in just a few moments, so thank you. LOD says she doesn't hear anything, and I got nervous because when I had this explosion, I got water all over everything, and I thought, oh my goodness, now I've drowned the sound out. So I'm grateful. As I've talked about bioresonance in the past, I've really talked about it as a vehicle for focused thought. And that is really what it is. The truth is, you don't really need a biofeedback app. You don't need a biofeedback app to heal yourself. You don't need one to heal anybody else. But is it helpful? Today, it's extremely helpful because it helps you to focus your thought. There's so much light streaming into the planet, more and more and more each year. And this planet is the wish-fulfilling tree. Everything that you say can become reality. So as you say, my body is completely healed and all of my cells are completely healthy and all of my DNA is resonating with perfection, it is happening. It is happening. But the only thing that separates us from that experience is doubt. And that is why a biofeedback app is extremely helpful still today, because it helps us to bridge that gap in awareness. And that is the only gap that we have today. So what we're going to be doing today is, Well, I'm going to be doing a lot with you today, and I want to ask you some questions as well. I really want your participation. But the whole thing with the genius is to create custom libraries, affirmations, and neuroremedies that represent your thoughts and what you want to create. And as you continue to play these affirmations and these neuroremedies, they lay down new tracks, they lay down new pipes, they help you to create that which you want, because there is nothing that can separate you from your greatest desire. In fact, it really is just being very clear about what your vision and your desire is. Now, I know that you've heard a lot of these things before. You guys are all really up to speed in a lot of ways. But I want to ask you right now in this moment, well, I want to actually just propose something else. Sometimes it takes repeating, it takes continuing to hear these things in different ways. So I hope to be able to present these things to you today in a way that you may have never heard it before, or maybe just as an expression of biofeedback through the genius. So stay with it. Some of these things are very much inspiration from Abraham Hicks. So if you've never heard of Abraham Hicks, definitely write that down. Just write down Abraham or write down Hicks and go ahead and go to Ask and It Is Given is one of the best books ever. So if you go to just Google Ask and It Is Given by Abraham, or watch those on YouTube, watch Abraham's videos on YouTube, you will find it is very, very eye-opening and expansive. So many of these things you will have heard before, but I'm hoping to say them in a new way, or just put a new angle on them, or simply get you re-inspired about them. I am so excited about the next year and what the next year can bring to my life and what you can bring to your life. The possibilities are really, really before us in a new way and an old way, in a way that they've always been. But there is a lot of momentum. People are all tuning in to this ability to consciously create. And because we're all connected, we are all perfecting and expanding that feeling that we're creating our own world, and that healing can happen in a second, right? Healing could happen in a lifetime. It could not happen at all, or it could happen in a second. You could have a condition today. It might be gone tomorrow. It could be the thing that separates you from that healing could be a thought. All right. And the genius can help you to really get in the groove of that thought. We're going to be looking at some of that. I have a handout for you, and I've done it in two different ways. I've uploaded it to the control panel so you can download it. And I've also listed it as a link for you so that you can just go to the link, because sometimes people can't figure out how to download it. So you can do it that way as well. I want to welcome the people who are joining me on the live class today. So let's say hi to a few people. Alexander, a warm welcome to you. Thanks for being here. Cherry, warm welcome. Dana, hello. Dennis, hey, welcome and congrats on your new genius. Really nice to have you here. Bonjour, Monique. Thank you so much for being here. Leah, Happy New Year. Thank you so much, my awesome assistant. Thanks for being here. Rick, big congrats on your genius. Really nice to have you. Rita, fantastic. I'm glad that you're joining. While I'm introducing people or just saying hi to people, I just want to ask you now, as you're reviewing that sheet, do you have everything in your life that you want? Just sort of look around and sort of consider, do you now have everything in your life and you feel complete? That you have everything you could ever want. And so will you guys tell me yes or no? I have everything in my life that I could ever want. What do you guys think? Let me know. So the question for you, write to me in the chat box. Yes, I have everything I could ever want, or no, I'm still wanting things. Okay, some people say no, I don't. Some people say pretty much. And some people say nope. Linda says nope. Tracy says no. All right. And Rick says maybe. Linda says almost there. Rebecca says I'm in the process. I love that. That's really good. And that would be a hell no. Mostly, I'm still wanting. Let's see. Could you please post the link for the handout on an Android? So you definitely don't have what you want. Okay, don't worry. If you don't have the handout, Alexander, or anybody else, or you can't figure it out, it's there in two ways. The link is there in the chat box. Let me see if I can get it into the question box too. Won't let me do that for some reason. I'll work on that, but I'll definitely follow up with everyone to make sure that you have the recording and that you have this handout that I'm talking about. And we'll take a look at it too. The handout is down in the control panel. It can be downloaded, and it's also in a link if you look in the chat box. If you can't find it, please just let it go, and then it's not important. Let me say something about this question of having what you want. We've got a no, I'm still waiting. I love it. Certainly not. And Shireen says, I'm still wanting more. Shireen, you're the perfect segue. Let me propose to you that there are two things going on here. On the one hand, you can have contentment. So some people might feel like, yeah, you know what, I have a lot, and that's pretty good. I've been pretty much really manifesting the things that I want to this year. And I feel pretty happy for that. And I'm looking around and I'm feeling incredible gratitude for everything that I do have. And that's one way to look at it. And some people do feel that, no, I just haven't gotten there, and I don't know when it's going to happen. Maybe it's never going to happen, right? So some people feel like that. But let me propose to you, even if you're in the camp where you're thinking, oh, I just have everything I could ever want, probably not. And I want to propose to you that this is the nature of being an eternal being, of who you are at your essence. You will always want more. And in fact, wanting more is a very, very good thing. It is the best thing because it helps you to expand and it helps you to grow. And it is the nature of who we are. This is very much in the frame of Abraham Hicks. So I just know that I'm going to talk from that vantage point, but it's really, truly resonates with me in a way that has been so powerful for my personal transformation. Whatever you have, even if there's contentment, there's always a desire for more. And I think what we're really looking for often are what are the ways to facilitate that process. It is so natural and normal to want more. And if you have been trying not to want more, I want to invite you now to begin to open the floodgates of asking for more. And you may need to search deep inside of you and even start to revive that feeling. What did I want in the first place? Or what do I want? If I can choose anything, then what do I want? And if you've downloaded that sheet, or if you just have a pad, remember I said get your genius and a pad of paper, is like, what do I want? And maybe even in my conversation of my talking, maybe this is beginning to shift and change for you. Whatever it is, and it might be something incredibly awesome, visionary, fantastic, I want you to even make it bigger, and it could be something very mundane. I want to travel to Greece and take a vacation on an island. And when I travel, I only want to travel in first class. And I want to be able to go to those awesome lounges in the airport that only first class people, travelers can go to. Whatever it is, I want you to make it as expanded as feels comfortable to you. And I want to suggest to you that this is the most natural way. This is actually the way for human beings to live is really in their heart, in towards their desires, because this helps you to expand. It helps you to become more. And the entire universe is in the process of becoming more. No matter how you slice it, if you look at the planet overall and how human beings are living, we can pretty much come to the conclusion that life is improving. Overall, if you look at all of the things we have and all of the things we're experiencing, and keep it very personal, look at your own life, it is improving in some way. And that is the eternal nature of our being, for things to get better, for things to improve. But the reason that that happens is because we continue to ask for more. So if you've been shy about asking, or if you think that you might be taking more of your fair share, just know that that does not even exist. There are infinite resources. You cannot take somebody else's share. I think you guys are really tapped into this, but a good analogy is, would you ever not try to be more well because you might take away somebody else's wellness? Would you ever not try to heal yourself or be healthier because to ask for more health would actually deprive somebody else of their health? Well, of course not, right? Good health is available to us all. So good wealth, good abundance, and the most spectacular experience on this planet is available to all of us without taking away from anybody else. So that's a really important prerequisite to think about. So right now, just go ahead, and you probably are pretty aware of it, but just if anything has occurred to you since I've been talking, just go ahead and write down, I really want a health center. I really want to create a health retreat in Costa Rica. I have this new idea. I have this new vision, but I haven't really wanted to admit it because I don't think I can do that. So whatever it is, I want a Toyota Prius, or I want whatever it is that you're really super excited about, from the most visionary to the most mundane to even what you might consider the most selfish. Just go ahead and write it down and let it be there. Whatever it is that you're writing down or is coming to mind is incredibly important. The more that you allow yourself to connect with it, it allows the expansion of your being. It makes you more of who you are. In fact, it is like the calling of the universe to go towards those things. But often we don't. Because why? If you've written something down or you've thought of something, what are the first things that come to mind about why you might not try to get those things? So if you have something written down like $100,000 or $1 million retreat in Costa Rica that you want to run, give me one reason why you haven't done it yet. So what's one reason why you haven't done the thing that is written down or the thing that you're thinking about? So go for it. Go ahead and write to me in the chat box. So people are having some really good things that they want to do. That's fantastic. So give me one reason that you haven't done it yet. Too costly. That is such a popular and prevalent reason. I love it. Like it's out of reach financially. Fantastic. And so more reasons why you haven't done it. Not enough money, not enough vitality, not enough money. Wrong timing. Very interesting. The environment affects my mind and I can't think. I don't know how. I'm still sorting my health out, so I can't do it. I doubt that I can have it. You guys, these are so good, and they're really good for us collectively because we all share these together. And often when we come together as a group, there's a group theme. So please know that everybody else is sharing something, in common with you that you're sharing. So thank you so much. I haven't done it yet because I just decided to do it and I haven't had time yet. I will do it really soon starting today. Okay, I like this change, this shift that you're experiencing there. Timing is everything. Totally. And we're going to talk a bit about that, about how getting into alignment and releasing resistant thought helps you to have good timing. So timing isn't about the stars or your astrology or your horoscope or your karma. Timing is about alignment. And alignment is what we're going to be talking about more today, but it really is about feeling good, being happy, doing activities that really make you feel positive and relaxed and happy, and even this crazy thing called meditation. And meditation, the reason that you sit in one place for that annoying 5, 10, 15 minutes or a half an hour is because it releases something called resistant thought. And resistant thought is all the stuff that we're kicking up right now. I can't do it. I haven't had time. I've been too sick. The timing isn't right. The stars aren't right. Mercury is in retrograde. So God only knows I'm not going to do it while Mercury's in retrograde. I fear that I'll be ridiculed. Okay, that's such a great one. Not that they're great reasons, but they're really great because they bring out these, things that we want to look at. We want to look at them. Resources are a close second sometimes, right? So timing and resources. So we're going to examine these. But I also already want you to start asking yourself the one that you wrote in the chat box. And I'm going to challenge you a little bit later on, not personally, so don't worry, is I want you to start asking, is this true? Is it true that there isn't enough money? Is it true that there aren't enough resources? Is it true that if I don't know how, that there's no way to find out? And I want you to just find in the statement that you sent to me, let's see if there were any more. I stopped myself, okay? All of those statements, I want you to start asking, is it true? And could you find a tiny little part of it that is not true? So a tiny little part, like for example, well, I don't have the full amount, but I have enough for the down payment. Or, well, I don't have enough health to do it, but I'm healthy enough to start 1 hour a day towards what I want. Or the timing isn't good, but maybe I could look on the calendar now and I could really find the juicy sweet spot for the timing in 6 months. So I want you to find a tiny little wisp. The most powerful question when you feel a block and you think you can't do it is to question the statement that you're saying. So if it's whatever it is that you just said, is to ask the question, is it true? And to start to turn these things around. Do you guys believe that thoughts are things? So do you believe that thoughts are things or thoughts become things? So write to me in the chat box, do you guys think that thoughts are things or thoughts become things? And let me know. And you guys, if you start to get more inspired, you can start adding to your list of wants and desires and vision. What is your vision? What is the greater vision for your life if you can create anything? You may have become a healer, or you may have become successful to a certain degree. What's even that greater vision? It may start to percolate up during our class today. So yes, I absolutely believe that thoughts are things, that thoughts become things. I absolutely believe it. Thoughts create your reality. Definitely thoughts are things. So would it be true then, if thoughts are things, that the only thing that separates you from experiencing that vision, that thing that you wrote down on the piece of paper, is a thought? The only thing that separates you, is it possible that the only thing that separates you from the $1 million retreat in Costa Rica is the thought. What was the thought? Well, there's no way I can afford it. Well, if the thought wasn't there, would you be able to walk or fly tomorrow to that retreat? Because if thoughts are things, isn't your thought the biggest impediment to getting that thing? And so this is part of the reason why we also ask, is it true? And so your is it true exercise is one of the most powerful things that you can do. And when you contemplate, is it true that I don't know how to do this thing? Well, yeah, it's true, but also there's this thing called Google, and I probably could find out how to do anything. And I could probably get more resources to find out how to do it. Maybe I couldn't do today, but maybe I could do it by the middle of 2017. So I just want you to be able to, that contemplation of both asking if it's true and then turning it around. Is there a tiny, tiny wisp of that you can turn around? So whatever you said as your blocker, I want you to now turn it around. And in other words, let me just see. So let me just look at some of these statements. So not enough money. I have all the money I need. And this is going to be how you're going to enter into 2017. I have all the money I need to achieve this. And it's an interesting thing, isn't it? This is something you can program into your genius too. I have all the money I need. I have all the money I need. Then what starts to happen the instant that you start to say, I have all the money I need, I have all the money I need? You can play it on your genius. We're going to talk about processes today because it's really important to make that affirmative statement in a place of alignment. And so we're going to talk about that today. It's not going to be very helpful if the next second after you say it, you say, but yeah, those are just words. But the minute that you get into alignment and you start to say, even if you just start to say it, it happens. You know, I have enough money to do this thing. I really do have enough money. I don't know where it's going to come from, but I know that somewhere in the universe I have this money. I just haven't located it yet. Then what usually starts to happen, you guys, when you start to say that? Do you guys know? What usually starts to happen to me, and you can send me your experience, is usually I start having like ideas about how I could get that money, or I start receiving phone calls from people I haven't heard from in a while that start to spark my ideas about how I could get the money. Or when I'm searching online, or when I watch a YouTube video, there's a related YouTube video about the very topic of getting enough money or getting more abundance. So somehow your thoughts are like these antennae, and actually we know today that your DNA are actually antenna. So your thoughts are like antenna that are broadcasting out to the universe and sort of looking for that thing that you want to experience. And the problem, you know, that's an amazing thing. But the only problem with that is that when you're thinking the negative thoughts, you're expanding that experience. So just the opposite is true. If you're going around and you're not practicing intentional thought in service of your vision or your wish, is that you're thinking, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough money, there's no way I could ever get that retreat center, there's just no way. And so your whole life expands into that experience. The people that you meet also will tell you, well, you're never going to get that. I mean, you're too old. Come on. I mean, you don't have any way of doing that. I mean, how much money is really in your account? And you find articles and you find people and you find experiences that continue to support that. So it is so important to clean up those thoughts. And this really takes repetition. So that's where your genius can come into play. Now, I do actually have a PowerPoint for this. Hopefully it'll play here. Okay. So I am going to explain to you the process of how to make this happen. But it really is, we can even see just from the beginning that it's your thoughts that separate you from the experience. You know that you want this. It is the most natural part of your being to want. And one of the most powerful things that I learned, from this whole thought process, the different things I've studied about manifestation, is you will never stop wanting. And that is the whole way to stay young, you guys, is to know that in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that this never changes. And in fact, being very in touch and exercising that desire to want more is what keeps you alive and what keeps you energized and what keeps you healthy. So even if you get a retreat center, and I'm just using this obviously as an example, it would be very, very normal and natural to want to open another one and then another one and maybe a whole franchise of them. Or maybe then you've opened your retreat center and then maybe you want to become a musician. The whole cycle of life, your whole life should be about creation, and you'll never get it done. It's not about getting it done. It's about being in the eternal state of wanting, and wanting is a very good thing. The only thing that really keeps us from wanting and expressing and flowing that wanting is the illusion that we can't get these things. And that is the thing that we really want to expel from our consciousness. We want to release that. And these are different practices and ways to achieve that. And that's what we're doing here today. That's what this whole webinar is about, is new processes, new ways of getting into that place of knowing that every time we write down something for the New Year's resolution, something that we want to achieve in any topic of our life, health especially is a big one that we want to achieve in, wealth, relationships, your weight, your physical fitness, all of those things can be achieved and attained, and you shouldn't wait even 1 second before setting out and experiencing these wonderful and very, very positive manifestations. So let's get more into it. So the first question, right, that I've sort of been asking is, so ask yourself really this is, are you ecstatically excited about the new year? Are you truly excited? So go ahead and type in the chat box and let me know, are you really excited about 2017? And I don't want you to just say yes. I want you to give me your honest answer, because sometimes we get jaded and we feel like I'm going to make those resolutions and I'm not going to keep them, or what is there really to be excited about? I don't know. I don't have enough energy really to be excited. So let me know, are you ecstatically excited about the new year? Are you totally excited? Are you getting more excited as we talk? Because the way that I want you to be thinking is, if you knew you could have anything, if somebody came and told you, this is a really good example, and somebody said to you, Sophie, this is your year, Sophie. This is the year when the most magical, amazing things can happen to you. In fact, I read your chart and the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter is aligning with, Mars. That's the age of Aquarius, right? And your astrology is just so good for this year that it's just the wish-fulfilling tree. You can just have anything you want. This is going to be an amazing year for you. Then would you be ecstatically excited about the new year? Would that change it? And so here are some of your responses. I'm really excited. It's going to be a fantastic year. No, I'm not quite excited yet. Not ecstatic, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited about the new year, and more so now listening to this, which is great because it's stirring up your own inner being. I'm ecstatically excited. Okay, you guys are kind of switching around. I love that. So if we could say to you, like, this is your fortune, you'd get into it. You think, oh, wow, this is going to be an amazing year. But nothing that any fortune teller or any astrologer could tell you is more true than you can create it at any moment. And this is hard for us to believe as human beings, especially as we've been cultured and changed, but you are the arbiter. You are the decider. As someone once said, you are the decider of when this is going to happen. So just by your saying it and you're declaring it, yes, this is going to be the most amazing year of my life. I can't, I am so excited to get ready to start it. Like, I can hardly wait for the next 2 days. I just want to start it right now because it's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. So, and Suzanne says, numerically, it is a 1. That means new beginnings, and I'm planning new changes and new beginnings, and I'm very exciting. So there may be an energy of that, Suzanne, and I also want to suggest that any year could be a 1. If you have the things that I'm going to be talking about today, because there are some things that will help you. It's very nice for me to talk about, yes, you can have anything, and in your inner being it's true. But what are the things that sort of logistically separate you from that? And that's what I want to get into, those nuts and bolts, to give you some tools, as we call them processes, to actually get there. Because you have the philosophy, you have the knowing, your inner being tells you it's true, but because of past conditioning, sometimes it's hard to get to that place. I hadn't thought about the new year, but you are obviously ecstatic, I guess. Yes, I would. I'm not sure what the answer was. I guess the question is not about wanting, but rather about fulfillment. A little bit of both. First, you have to let yourself want and sort of cultivate the want, and then get into alignment, which we're going to talk about. And then there are some strategies to this. Have never thought much about it. 2016 was pretty overwhelming. I'm excited about the processes I'm using in the next couple of days to release the obstacles. That's what it's all about. That's great, Rebecca. I started something and I'm driving forward towards something which excites me. Fantastic. I'm excited. Okay. Sorry, my keyboard is acting up. It's Mercury retrograde. So I always fall onto Mercury retrograde in a funny way and, in a comical way, especially when things go wrong. But I just want to suggest to you that there's never a Mercury retrograde. So despite a Mercury retrograde, perhaps you can achieve anything in the Mercury retrograde. And you guys probably just know that already, but I just want you to think about that. So are you ready for the juiciest year yet? This is not astrology or anything. This is totally up to you. So do you have the things you are hoping to create in the new year? We sort of went about that. Yes, of course you do. You all came here with great intention and desires to create in so many ways, and also to bring things to other people. So of course there are things that you're hoping to create in the new year. If you've shut yourself down and you've not even, I can't even, I'm too sick to even create anything, just try to let that go, or just completely let that go, or examine that. Because just even to have good health and to allow the energy to flow in your body, allow those desires to start to percolate and just start writing them down. Writing them down is really important. Even if you write them down on a piece of paper or a big vision board or a whiteboard or on your computer or on your Android phone, put them into words. That really helps us to focus. Thoughts are things, they're expressed through our words. Words are very powerful frequencies, which is why your hololinguistic frequencies on your genius are immensely powerful. So to sort of cut to the chase, to sort of go to, some of the things that we're working on, or we will be working on, is that on your genius, creating affirmations and running the frequencies of the affirmations is insanely powerful. So powerful. So even right now, you can punch up on your genius, and I will show you how to do this, creating affirmations as a custom library, and then just start typing in the affirmations, the things that you want to manifest. $1 million retreat in Costa Rica, I am manifesting $1 million retreat in Costa Rica, or I am manifesting redecorating my apartment or redecorating my home, manifesting all of the money, more money than I could imagine to redecorate my home, more ideas, more people to come and be with me to help me than I could ever imagine. And all of this can be just typed in through the import function, and you create these libraries and then you play them often. We're going to talk about the power of repetition. Okay, it's crucial to bring into one's field the process to empty out the obstacles. And I love this one. This is really fantastic. Intention keeps you out of detention. I love it. That's fantastic. Okay, are you thrilled about your potential to create anything that you desire? So hopefully this will rekindle that. I know that that's a spark inside of you that you've known about your whole life and you've read about and you've thought about, but let's sort of rekindle that to be thrilled about your potential, but make it effortless. So in your mind, make the manifestation effortless, right? We've heard it's as easy to create a castle as it is to create a button. You guys have heard that, some of you. It's as easy to create a castle as it is to create a button. It's as easy to create $1 million as it is to create $1, because it's just all about where you start in your mind and with your thoughts. That's all it is. So get the vision clear in your mind. That's the first thing, to write it down, to have a picture of it. Of course, pictures are very, very powerful. There are so many great vision board free apps and programs online now. It's amazing, where you can pick pictures. You could do it at home on your own vision board. You could just write it down. So let's just have the vision first. That's the most important thing, is to have that desire. And now just imagine that it takes no effort on your part. If you want a car, it could just show up in your driveway. So we know that that isn't the whole truth, but even before the manifestation begins, we can start to create obstacles. So for just a moment, suspend your skepticism and imagine that each manifestation is effortless. And it is true, because the biggest part about manifestation is just establishing it in your consciousness. That is the biggest step. And that is effortless. We can imagine all day long. Why is it as kids we love to play make believe or just invent something? You're out with your friends and you're just like, let's make something up. Let's playtime. It is because it's the most natural thing for us to do, right? So imagination is incredibly important. So that's why I want you to just let your vision flow about whatever it is: relationship, family, career, traveling. Really let your vision get big. That's really, really the first step. And in the shamanic tradition, they say that there are 3 states of reality that are equal: the state that you're living in your conscious body, your dreaming state, and your imagination. They are all given equal weight in the shamanistic tradition. They are all considered the same. So your dreaming is as powerful as your waking state, is as powerful as what you're imagining. So let your imagination go wild. So if you're not, we sort of talked about this before, if you're not totally excited about what you're going to create, then why not? And we can get really specific, right? It's really good to name and be honest about why you think you can't. That's an important part of the process, because then you can ask when you state what it is. So I want you, just in your mind, if more objections have come up, to be really honest and even write those down. Even your mind now, or your inner being, might start to say, well, wait a second, that's not true, now, before you even get it down on the piece of paper. So whatever it is, you guys, that you really want to do, and other things may have come up for you, Please also write down why the immediate gut response for you, or the ego response, why you think you can't do it, and make sure you write that down. So good examples that people commonly give, and you guys did it. I don't know how to do it. I don't have enough energy to do it. I don't have enough money to do it, or maybe I'm too old, or maybe I'm too young, or maybe, nobody would ever take me seriously. So make sure you write all of those things down. They're really necessary so that you can do the is this true process. The is this true process, the second question after is this true is this really true? And another question to ask is, how can I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that this is true? Or can I know for sure beyond the shadow of a doubt that it is true that I don't know enough to do this? Well, wait a second. I don't know. Wait, maybe there are some things that I know. Like for me, I'm glad that I went to naturopathic college, but I think I already knew a lot of things about health that I never allowed myself to really grow and flourish because I kept telling myself, but I need a degree first. Well, I can't do anything until I have that degree. But I had so many great ideas about cleansing and juicing and live foods that I kind of knew in my 20s that I really could have taken and run with. But I felt if I don't have a degree, no one will ever take me seriously. And we see that we have so many people today who have 0 degrees and they've started juicing businesses or whatever it is, whatever they've become, maybe some of the greatest health teachers around the planet, right? Because they went from their inner knowledge and they had faith that they would know. So I want you to question everything. When you have objections that come up, the most important is this inner contemplation. This is a very Buddhist contemplation. And then turn it around. Whatever the deepest thing that you're telling yourself, I'm too old. I am the perfect age to be doing this. Well, I'm the perfect age to be doing this because I didn't have all of the life knowledge before this moment. Or my journey took me to this place. This is the exact time when I need to be doing this. Or I don't have enough money. I have exactly enough money to get started today to do this one little piece of what I want to do. So it's first, is it true? Can I really know that this is true? And then if I can't really know it, is there one part about it that actually is true? And then you start to turn it around and start to write down the reasons that the opposite statement is actually true. I guarantee your inner being, which is the most true part of you, will start to tell you all of these reasons why what you're saying is simply not true. And so then you really start to get the juiciness and you start to cultivate the awareness within yourself to really create what it is that you want. So you guys, is this making sense? Has anybody discovered a belief that they have already discovered is not true? If you found one belief that you realized is not true and you were able to just turn it around, even in the smallest way, write it in the chat box and tell me what it is that you were able to sort of switch your thinking about and maybe have already made a discovery about it. So if you guys have anything, you've been able to look at that and say, you know what, that really isn't true. Actually, I thought I didn't have enough energy, but you know what? There's this 1 hour of the day that I actually do have energy, and I think that I could start doing something on this. So write to me in the chat box there. One way, sorry, one way that I'm playing with this ball here. One way that you've discovered an untruth and something that is true that you've discovered is true about that statement that was your obstacle before this. Okay, I haven't gotten anything yet, but I'm hoping to. So do we need more clarification on that? Do I need to do maybe another example of that so it makes more sense? I'm trying to, like, one that I always tell myself is I don't have enough time to do something. And is it really true that I don't have enough time to do this, like to go to work out every day for an hour? Is that really true? No, that's definitely not true. It's just because I don't make the time. So I have all the time in the world to work out to get myself to be more fit. It's absolutely true. I have all the time because I'm self-employed. I make my own schedule. And in fact, it sort of grows on you. And I realize, like, in fact, this is one of the most urgent and important things that I could do for myself because it really supports everything else that I can do. Because the other thing is, I might say I don't have enough money to go and work out, for maybe 100 or a couple $100 a month in personal training or in CrossFit fees or whatever it is. But actually, this is the most important investment I could make because I am my business. And if I'm not at my top fitness or feeling good, I can't do anything. So I still haven't gotten anything. If you guys have been able to turn around an obstacle and turn it into a positive statement, whereas you thought you didn't have enough money, you were able to say, no, that's not really true, and turn it into something positive, then let me know. Okay. Funny because I make time for working out as often as I can, but I don't make time for setting up a practice. And you are the opposite, she's saying to me, Ariel. Yeah, so that's really, really good. So to ask yourself, Sophie, why? So what is your biggest question about not setting up a practice? And find what that is. Maybe because you say, and I don't know if this is true about you, so it could be totally not true. Maybe you say it's because I don't have a degree. Well, the good news is for biofeedback practice, you don't need a degree. There's no certification. So you can turn that around and say you actually have all the knowledge and you've everything that you need to start your practice. And then you start to sort of juice it up a lot. Like, yeah, I know a lot about this. Well, people have been having amazing experiences with me in biofeedback. And then Rebecca says that I've had to rely on the work contributed to by others in my business in order to manifest a true connection to my purpose. That I have to rely on the work contributed to by others in my business in order to manifest a true connection to purpose. So tell me, Rebecca, how you're turning that around and let me know. Okay, let me continue on. So if you were able to sort of pull that out and say that's not really true, then tell me what you've said here. So Rebecca says, so my positive statement is that I let go of this obstacle and let the creativity rise within me. Right, because if you say that you have to rely on others, I would absolutely try to contemplate, you guys, how that's not true. If you have any excuse that's based on anyone else in your life, your mother, your father, your kids, your spouse, you will have to be able to drill that down to it's not true. And I could help you any day of the week to do that. It is absolutely not true. I guarantee it that Rebecca is relying on others in order to manifest a true connection to her purpose. There's a way that you can find through contemplation that you are the only one ultimately, and she's really discovered it. So my positive statement that as I let go of this obstacle, creativity rises within me. So as you say, as you let go of needing to have other people inspire that or be the inspiration, then the creativity rises within you. It frees it up. Everything is about you. So Dana says, I thought I didn't have enough money. I can look into the actual cost of travel. During this call, I got a text with a good sized order for the products that I sell. And you guys, and Dana, that's so perfect because I always challenge myself that way too. Like if there's something that I want, I'll write it down and I'll say, you know what? It's $300 for this thing. I wonder if in the next week I could make that extra $300 in my business. And it always happens. It really is about writing down and committing to it. And travel is the biggest one of all, because people often tell themselves they don't have enough money to travel. But if you say, I do have enough money to travel, and especially the best thing is find out how much money it's really going to cost you to travel. It's often less than people think. So find out how much it is. It's going to cost me $1,500 for this trip the way that I want to do it. And then you start to magnetize those extra resources to you. Then the only trick with that is to actually go on the trip instead of using it for the water heater that you think that you need. So that's the only trick. And for those of you, and I think most of you guys, who on here is self-employed? If you are self-employed, just go ahead and type in yes. If you have, or you could just type in self, or if you have a job, you can just type in job. So tell me if you're self-employed. Are you self-employed, not self-employed? Okay. So almost everybody on here. Wendy, self-employed. Shireen, Alexander, Tracy at the beginning stages. Dr. Rick, awesome. And so the beautiful thing about being self-employed is it gives you that wonderful vantage point. If you want to add fitness training or travel, you're not bound by your monthly salary. You can create it. And that is the most amazing thing about being self-employed. Of course, you have to develop your own momentum. You're responsible. You're ultimately, if you don't work, you don't get paid, all of those things. But if you want to generate an extra 3,000 or 300,000 additional dollars a month, then you can. By the way, really, really interesting case study. I'm going to recommend that you look at a gentleman who has a certain YouTube channel, not one that's goofy or for gaming. I'm going to recommend it in a moment. And this gentleman makes $200,000 a month from uploading his very, very well done, but not that difficult YouTube videos. $200,000 a month. So can you even imagine or allow yourself to have $200,000 a month? What would that mean for you? Now, we talk about the next step. If you're only making $2,000 a month, that might be too much of a next step. But at least setting it as your highest vision and acknowledging that you deserve it at some point, or that you even really want it, is really, really important. So everything in your world is your creation. Everything. You guys, look around you right now, wherever you are listening to this. Look around, look at your phone, your window, your car, your kitchen, your shoes. Everything is the result of your thoughts. You guys know that, but I want you to tell me one thing in your world which you think that you have not gotten as a result of your repeated thoughts. The state of your current physical form, your body is just, now this is going to blow your mind, right? Is just a result of your repetitive thoughts. Your whole body, meaning your health too, is just a result of your repeated thoughts. So whether you're heavy or thin, muscular or non-muscular, whatever it is a result of your repeated thoughts. Your bank account is a result of all the thoughts that you thought for the past week, the past month, the past year, the past lifetime. It's only your thoughts are only what separate you. And it's all of the repeated thoughts are now all manifest as your current situation, which means that your whole year is going to be dictated by the thoughts you're generating starting at this now moment. You guys, everything is in the now. Forget about karma, forget about astrology, forget about how bad you screwed up. Forget, because you never screwed up. You never got it wrong. It was always something in service of the next thing. Everything is in your present moment. Everything is in the present moment. There is absolutely no other moment, and not even a moment that you can hold on to besides this present eternal moment, which what that means is that this is the moment you can create everything. And you can create everything brand new, different from the way that you've ever created it before. So again, your body, your home, your bank account, your career, everything is the result of the thoughts that you've been thinking. And if you can prove to me in any single way that you think that anything in your life is not the result of some thought or some belief that you've felt over the past year, 2 years, decade, lifetime, let me know. So the thing about that is this gives you incredible power to change anything you want. And I really want you to just drink that into your cells. Even if you've heard it before, just re-acknowledge it. Your wife isn't responsible. Your dad isn't responsible. Your kids aren't responsible. All of those things. And oh yes, my mother's flower escapade. So I love and adore my mom. I think she's fantastic, and she's been one of my greatest teachers for so many different things, and I'm so grateful for her. She sent me these flowers for Christmas, which when you look at them, wouldn't you just think, hey, those seem like fine flowers? I took a picture of them, I sent it to her, and she was in tears. And not just, I should not really tears because she's Southern Italian, and so it's not really ever tears. It's usually more like really, really angry. So she is really, really angry and distraught because these were not the flowers that were advertised. And so she called the florist here in Portland and wanted it changed. She had a second delivery. That also was not the right flowers. And so what should have been sort of a nice, pleasant, easy experience was really not a good one. And when you look up this florist, they were like the worst florist in all of Portland. They had like a 1-star review from like 20 people on Yelp. And I thought, this is not a criticism of my mother, you guys. I want you to think of somebody in your life that's like this, or even, sometimes I fall into this too. I think my mother's the person who goes to a dinner and she always gets like the wrong thing, or it's cold, and I think, bless her heart, my mother is sort of always thinking that it is going to get screwed up. And I think that she even magnetized like the worst florist in Portland, blessings to her, because of this constant thought, that she's going to sort of get ripped off, or she's going to get cheated, or it's going to not work out. And these are often the dominant states of her of what she's thinking and what she's talking about. And she's changed in so many ways, and she's so loving, and she's so generous, and she's such a sweet person. And I love her, dearly, but this, this always happens for her. And it just made me think, like, this is so classic for what she's magnetizing and what she's drawing to her. So there was no other way that she could get any type of floral delivery except this one. And the way to change that would have been if she had started picking up the phone. Very simply, it is my intention, or dialing it in on the internet, is my intention that my daughter receive the perfect flowers for her. And that might have even helped her in choosing what they are, which it's all perfect. I don't care what she sent to me, but you see what and that, I guarantee she would have gotten the 5-star florist, especially if she did the affirmation a few times. That was, just the right delivery at the right time with the right amount of flowers, exactly what she ordered. So it really starts from your vibration, and it really starts from your thoughts. I guarantee it. We're going to do a little bit of exercises with this, where you'll be able to see in very, very small order how quickly this could manifest for you. And I know some of you have tried this, but examples are like when you go and you want to find a parking spot, and you guys know the parking spot prayer. So I'll give you like, what's the magic way to find a parking spot at any time? You guys know that, right? A lot of you already know that, which is very, very sacred incantation. Goddess, goddess, full of grace, please manifest a parking space. So goddess, goddess, full of grace, help me to find a parking space. And it works every time. Every time I say that, or I say, will manifest a parking space, or whatever it is, then I turn around the corner, there's always somebody's always pulling out. So your words are things, your thoughts are things. The whole gift of life going forward forevermore is your focused intention and repetition. So there's a little bit of a nuance to that, and I'm going to give you the process in just a few moments. So it's going to look like very, very specific steps, and we're almost there. So this year, what are your desires? Did you write down your desires? Not a resolution, just what your desires are. What do you want? I want to make these aren't mine. These are just random. I want to make $200,000 this year. I want to start my career as a healer. I want to find my soulmate. I want to travel first class to the south of France. Often these start to percolate up, like they start to get juicier. You start to sort of pump them up because you get this sort of sense from your inner being that you can have anything that you want. So I want you to really, really plump these up and make them nice and juicy, juicier and bigger than you ever want. Because remember, astrology says this is your year. This is your year to do it. Now, I'm sort of playing with you, but this is your year to do it. This is your year to have it. This is the most amazing year. You won't even believe what you could achieve in this next year and maybe in the next 3 months. And of course, we talked about, but I can't because, and we talked about, is this true? Can I know that it's true? Can I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's absolutely true that I can't have this thing? I can't know that, so maybe it is true. Then we begin to turn it around and see the ways that we can have it. And I think you guys are totally catching on to that. How do I know it's true? Question everything. You guys, I want to invite you into a place of questioning everything, including all of those wonderful internet articles that you get from Dr. Mercola and Dr. Oz, and which says that the Teflon is toxic and the mercury is toxic and the air is toxic and your root canals are toxic. I want you to just question everything. Yeah, maybe root canals are toxic, but maybe mine isn't. Yeah, but maybe I'm just brimming with so much, effervescence and excitement for life that those things can just fall away. So what I want you to do is I want you to start questioning all of the things that you buy into that might not be supporting you or may not even be true. So it is good that we have all of the things out there that can tell us things that might be harmful for us. But I can tell you guys, after several decades being involved in the health field, that it is my sincere conclusion that I am being not of the most service to people to continue to point out all of the foods that they could possibly be allergic to. Maybe gluten is poisonous. Maybe it isn't. Maybe when you eat gluten with complete love, sincerity, and understanding that it could also be nourishment, maybe it won't affect you negatively. Maybe the mercury fillings will affect you, or maybe they'll affect the next person. Maybe they'll never, we just don't know. So I want you to always be asking, is it true? If I'm holding my life in perfect alignment, just in love with my desires, then could this health condition fall away tomorrow? Maybe it could. Maybe the only thing that's stopping me is the doctors who are telling me that I can't heal. Maybe if I got rid of those guys or those gals, maybe I'd wake up and I'd be better. One of the things I'm going to be talking about this year is my belief that the most important thing for a healer is if they really believe that the person that they're working with can be healed, and they can even see them as already healed. If you're working with someone who is a client or a patient and you really don't think that they can be healed, I want you to think about not even working with them or starting to change your vision. So question everything. You're going to be a lot happier and you're going to start giggling more in life. The goal of life, speaking of giggling, is to be happy. The whole goal of life, there's no other goal. Not to save the world, not to whatever it is. The whole goal of life, it's not to be a doctor or be a lawyer or be an accountant. Whatever it is, the whole goal of life is to be happy. So the biggest, and why do we know the goal of life is to be happy? Because the happiness is connection to your heart. Your heart is the fulfillment of your desires. Your heart is the vehicle that takes you exactly where you need to go for exactly what you need to accomplish in this lifetime. And when people are happy, they're pretty awesome to be around. In fact, the world really has this amazing consciousness. So the whole goal of life is to be happy. If you're sitting there right now and you're saying, yeah, I'm happy, that's awesome. And of course, you can expand that. You can really make it more juicy. You can always ask for more. But there is no other goal of life. We can't go out and we can't heal other people. They heal themselves. We can't give people money to make them rich or make them better off, because ultimately they have to learn to get their own resources, which is they're able to do that. They also have that power to do it. So the whole goal of life is to be happy. Measure everything you're doing against, is it making me happy? And if it doesn't answer that question, then we need to change it. And we can use this process to do that. So the goal of life is to be happy. Expansion is the nature of your being, and it's the natural result of asking for more. This entire universe is expanding. The universe is expanding. A one-celled little organism is expanding. The whole planet is getting better as a result of people asking for more. It's completely not natural. Even when you're 85 or you're 95 or you're 150, it's completely natural to ask for more, to ask for the next adventure, to ask for the next inspiration, to ask for the fourth, fifth, or seventh career of your life or adventure of your life. It is completely unnatural to believe in retirement, or that you're not ever going to do more, or that you're not going to be completely inspired to create something new. The natural nature of your eternal being is to keep asking for more. So whatever you've asked for, I want you to juice it up and really expand it and really ask for that which your heart most wants. Sometimes it takes a few layers to even get clear because it's been so long that you've truly allowed yourself to ask. So you might go to a level deeper. What is it that I really want? I could have anything. What is my vision? What is it that I really want? Because I'm really going to go for it because now I know how to do it. And this, we're getting to the how-to process. Okay, we're eternal beings and we're always expanding and improving. Always, always, always. When we pass out of these bodies and we go into the next dimension, we'll still be like, hey, so I just want to what's the next adventure in the, in the next dimension or the next lifetime? The good thing about that is you can never get it wrong and you can never get it done. This is the most awesome thing. If you've gone through bankruptcy, if you've been a complete flop, a complete failure, if you've been sick for 10 years and you thought that that was awful or it took you off course, it does not matter because it was all perfect. You can never get it wrong and you can never get it done. You'll be at the last minute of your breath on this earth. You will never get it done. And that's perfect because your eternal being is always asking for more. And as a result, you're the perfect participant in the expansion of the universe. So are our outcomes dictated by diagnosis? So these are the things, you guys, I want you to question. Aren't our outcomes dictated by a diagnosis? Socioeconomic standing, age, karma, race. Is it? How our parents treated us, what was done to us, what the doctor told me, my planetary placement in Saturn. None of our outcomes are dictated by that. So if you're holding on to any of this, release it. None of it matters. You're at the now moment. It is the perfect moment of right now. This is where all of creation comes from, this moment in the present. So be present. Forget about the past. And don't worry about the future because you've got this. Think about this. Atoms are 99.9999. This is what science tells us, right, you guys? In physics, atoms are 99.99999% empty space. There's nothing even here. If we really knew what was here and we didn't have our beliefs, we would put our hands through the door. Our hands would go right through the wall. The floor wouldn't support us. Our feet would go right through it. Our arms wouldn't really be there. And, people have near-death experiences, and when they're floating out of their bodies, they have to think about their arm, and then all of a sudden they see it and it's there. And then when they don't think about it, it disappears. Really interesting. Our DNA is a wave form. It's not even a thing. It's just a wave particle. it can be changed at any time. What is it in this world that is not changeable or malleable in this moment? If you can tell me, I'd love to hear it, because everything from your DNA up is malleable and changeable in the present moment, which is the most exciting thing that you could ever imagine. So everything we learned is possibly not true, right? If you turn on CNN or whatever it might be, probably everything that we've been taught and conditioned for is probably not true. But everything is possible in the now, everything and anything. So here it is, you guys. Here's the secret formula. And thanks, you guys. I know this is a little longer than we expected, but I really appreciate you spending the time and being with me here, because I think that this is incredibly important and could be really, really helpful for the next coming however long. So the secret of manifestation, the secret that you're all looking for between the thing you wanted and getting there, is this recipe. Having the vision, and really alignment should be first. So put alignment up there before focused intention, or really they're interchangeable. Alignment, focused intention, the processes we're going to talk about, and you guys will come up with your own processes too, and repetition. I can't emphasize enough the importance of repetition. So you can't say your affirmation once and then throw it away and then forget about it for a year. Come back here for my class in 2017 and be like, oh man, it didn't happen. You have to do it every single day, maybe 3 times a day. Repetition. If you don't remember anything that I've said, I'm going to keep repeating repetition throughout this. So repetition, repetition, repetition. Looking at the vision board, repeating the affirmation, doing the process, doing the chant, looking at whatever it is that we talk about has to be done day after day after day. And what does that do? That reshapes the atoms, it reshapes the DNA, it changes your whole being, it changes everything. It magnetizes all the changes. It's a very multidimensional process. So you have to have enough belief to keep doing it. Okay, your vision. You are really, really good at doing your vision. What do you want most from life? Are you on track for it? What do you want most from this year? Write it down. A lot of you guys did that. So if you've sort of juiced up that vision even more, write down, maybe you want something you didn't realize that you wanted. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be embarrassed by it. There is nothing that is too materialistic, and that there's nothing that's too lofty. So if you want to help 5 million people on this planet, write it down now. It's really important because it's coming from your inner being, and it is the most natural part of you. It is the most true part of you. I'm just trying to catch up a little bit if you can't tell. Okay, so focused intention. Focused intention is what happens when you write it down, when you make it an affirmation, when you think about it. In other words, like my mother's dilemma. So before she even looks at the flowers online, 1-800-Flowers, I want my daughter to receive the most awesome flowers at the perfect time, the perfect colors, the perfect freshness, the perfect thing that would appeal to her before. So she juices all of that up, right? That's what focused intention is about. It's really at the start of your day. What do you even want for your day? Do you have focused intention at the beginning of your day? The beginning of your day is the most important part of your day. So whatever you usually do at the start of your day, now replace it with focused intention. It is the most important thing to write down what you truly want to create, like a movie script, at the beginning of the day. There is no more powerful time than the first few minutes that you're awake. If you listen to a negative YouTube video or watch the news or read the newspaper, or read the headlines on your phone, it's not going to be a good day. You want to recapture that with your own focused intention. Nothing gets in your way but reading your affirmations, looking at your vision board. And you guys, if you do this for a couple of days with the smallest things, like maybe an extra $50, something small, finding the perfect, I don't know, whatever it is, apple or something, you will be amazed. I mean, that's such a silly thing, but you will be amazed how well this can work. And you probably will say, oh, Ariel, I've done that before. But do you do it every day? So I want you to sort of recapture it and now juice it up, make it even more focused. It's so effortless because you're just imagining it. It's the most childlike experience ever. Children are totally great at this. So be more like a child in your really stating it, wishing for it, imagining it, and writing it down. And your day, the beginning part of your day, is really the most important. So through your thoughts, through your current emotional state, your clarity, affirmations, stating what you want is a must. You can put them in your Genius custom libraries. You can do it as a neuro remedy. It has to be a daily practice. It takes 17 seconds to start a thought. So if your thought starts, but I'm not going to have enough money to do that, if you think it for 17 seconds, it starts to gather other similar thoughts and it starts to gather momentum. And that's what all of this is about. So you can be a warrior at this. I mean, you can really get on this. If you get up in the morning and it's like you are just a powerhouse at doing your affirmations, it is going to start to generate momentum and you really start to feel it within you. And you can do it with health, you guys. You know, one of the best little chants that I've learned, a lot of you know, which comes from Mama's Little Baby Loves Shortening Bread, if you know that song. And the little chant is, every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body as well. I'm so happy, every little cell in my body as well. And I'm going to spare you the singing, but you know, every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body as well. I'm so happy. Every little cell in my body as well. I will tell you now, after 14 years as a naturopathic doctor and many years before that, just studying everything that has to do with health, I can't think of any supplement, remedy, chiropractor, anybody who could do more for you than thinking those thoughts like 24 hours a day. Like as long as you could maintain the thought, my cells are healthy, my cells are full of light, my cells are the healthiest that they've ever been. You literally are laying that down in your body. And I think that ill health is just a lack of that focused intention. People told us that we needed to take vitamin C, but they didn't tell us that we needed to take positive thoughts every day. They didn't tell us we needed to do the healthy cell affirmation every day, right? Well, stop taking your vitamin C. Don't care about that. Just start taking your healthy affirmations. So every day, every little cell in my body is happy. My DNA is happy. My DNA is giggling. It's so happy. It's revitalizing itself. It's regenerating itself. I guess I might live to 150 because it's so healthy right now. It's like as healthy as I was when I was 20. You guys, that is the medicine. And that is the medicine that you can get from the Genius. So you can get the Genius, all of that sort of juiced up affirmation like that and put it in your Genius. You can listen to it, you can experience that way, and also you can just read it. There is no medicine that's greater. That's where all of this is going. The really health is just an absence of focused intention thought. But even when you think about it, going to see your doctor, who, if they're a true healer, like a chiropractor, naturopath, acupuncturist, that also is focused intention because you're saying, I want to get better. I want all the cells in my body to be happy. And so even when you're going and experiencing that, that is part of focused intention. When you're saying all the cells in my body are healthy, all the cells in my body are well, you'll start to get ideas like, oh, I think I need to go back and see my acupuncturist. That will actually be part of this. So this will be helpful to it, to experiencing it. Now let's talk about the real meat of all of this, the real meat. And so you guys, I know that we're running a little long. I will finish up for sure at the top of the hour. So get a drink of water, go stretch or whatever it is. And give me some feedback. Are you guys understanding this? So let me know if this is making sense to you. Put a yes into the chat box. If you think that you can actually use this information in your life, then go ahead and tell me in the chat box, yes, I think I'll be able to use this. Okay, I'm getting yes, 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 good. Okay, I love it. Just want to make sure, because I know you've had you guys here for a while. You're doing fantastic. Thank you, thank you. Okay, yes, I can use this. Big thumbs up. Okay, now let's talk about how to make the cake. So how are you going to make this beautiful, healthy, cellular, deliciously successful, wildly financially abundant cake? How do you do it? You guys will come up with your own processes as well. So these are just suggestions that I have found to be immensely effective and things that I think that you will enjoy doing. Whoops. Okay. Okay, first one is the focus wheel. And there's so many free apps, you guys, that you can get. So you can get the focus wheel app, and I will demonstrate that in just a little bit at the end. But the focus wheel, I think I have a picture of it. Yeah. They actually put this on an app, and you can just create it. And it's so easy to create on your phone, Android. I think it's on Android and iOS. Just go to the App Store and put Focus Wheel app. And it's the one that's free. So you don't have to pay for it. It is free. And it just is a little wheel that you can put your statements on. The whole thing about the focus wheel is to get you on a positive momentum. So it is to really get the momentum of these positive thoughts. Whatever you guys think, if it's a positive thought or a negative thought, it will start to attract others. So have you ever noticed that if you get yourself into a negative state, that it sort of builds on itself, and it's almost like you can't actually reverse it. You sort of get on this negative trajectory, and it becomes very difficult to bring yourself back. That's why it's really important, part of being a conscious creator is to stop those negative thoughts by recognizing the untruth of them. You guys, if you're angry at anybody in your life, I don't care who it is, you have got to look at yourself. Either you shouldn't be in that relationship, and so you need to find a way to get yourself out of it, or it's something, if you say, I'm really angry at that person because they're so selfish. The most amazing practice is to say, I'm angry at myself because I'm so selfish, and find one way that that's true. It will totally dissolve how pissed you are at the other person, and it will totally change your life. There is not anything in this world that does not ultimately land on your doorstep. So it's a way for you to diffuse that experience. And sometimes I've just laughed at different experiences. It's like, there's nothing that you can't sort of unwind to ultimately bring it back to your own accountability, but also your own ability to change it in your life. So try to find that place when you get really on a negative trajectory and you think it's somebody, it's never that person. Either you need to break that relationship with the company, the person, whatever it is, but you need to find that within yourself, where the thing that you're most pissed about is always the thing that's charged within yourself. And it's really important to investigate that and ask yourself, how is that true? So if somebody's manipulative, how am I manipulative? If somebody is criticizing, how am I self-critical? And you will always find so much peace around this contemplation. So back to the focus wheel. You start with one positive statement about what you want to create, what you want to experience more of. So let's say you say, I don't have enough money. Then you want to find the smallest way in your life that you've been financially successful. Well, one day or one time, I was able to pay off a large amount of debt that I never thought I'd be able to pay off. I thought I was going to have to have a bankruptcy. And you know what? I actually am pretty good at creating money when I need to. And you know what? I actually make really creative programs that bring me a lot of money. And wow, I'm pretty innovative, and that allows me to be creative and successful. And so each one of those statements starts to go around the wheel. It's called a focus wheel. And so what usually happens is that these statements become juicier and, happier and brighter, and they all come from your internal being, the truest part of yourself. If you are, so this is sort of a really important nugget. If you're saying to yourself something that brings you joy and upliftment, your inner being, your highest self, the most true part of yourself is talking to you. If you're saying something that is critical, that is bringing you down, that is making you feel miserable, there is a way to find, I guarantee it, that is not true. If you just investigate it and turn it around. It's been my experience through hundreds of different things. The moment that you're saying something that is miserable and defeating, there's a way to find how it's not true. And the minute you turn it around, you'll actually find a very empowering statement. I'm not good at making money. And you turn it around, I actually am really good at making money, or I am really good at manifesting. You find some way that it's true. And so you want to keep building. So thoughts attract other thoughts of like kind. So the focus wheel is a way to goose everything up in a very, very powerful way. That's what a focus wheel is for. It's for building momentum of positivity. You guys, if you haven't noticed, it is the nature of all human beings to think negative thoughts when they're not consciously thinking positive thoughts. That is why all manner of religion and spirituality have mantras and chanting to occupy and purify the mind so that it will stop thinking the negative thoughts. In the absence of being really active, your body will just sort of become non-active. In the absence of thinking positive thoughts, your body will just think negative thoughts. So your body is sort of like a child, or your mind can be like a child, or like one of your your animals. If you're not teaching them to do good habits, they'll kind of mess up your whole house and eat your shoes and your newspaper or whatever it might be. Okay, the other thing about this process that's really important is to stop resistant thought. So as I've been talking, you may have come up with more resistant thought. Well, it's probably true for Ariel, but it's not going to be true for me. Well, she could do it because she's 10 years or whatever years younger than me, or because she has a doctorate degree, or whatever it is. So whenever you have an objection, that is what is called resistant thought. So meditation, where you're just sitting and quieting your mind, stops resistant thought. Resistant thought, like, I can't really get better because my doctor told me I'm not going to get better until I stop eating gluten, or he told me I'm not going to get better for 6 months, or he told me I'm probably not going to get better for 2 years. All of that resistant thought is what stops you from manifesting. But the only way to stop resistant thought, it's sort of like the don't think about a monkey and all you think about is a monkey, is meditation. So in meditation, you say Om, or you focus on a candle, or you focus on the number 1. Even just focusing on the number 1 is enough. Or just, if you can't meditate and you're having a lot of resistant thought about any particular topic or something you want to achieve, take a nap. It sounds so funny, you might take a lot of naps. Seriously, take a nap, because it stops all resistant thought. It stops all thought. That's actually why we sleep at night. We need a moment to just, that's why sleep can feel so good, to just stop all the resistant thoughts. I can't do it because, this is not going to happen because, I'm never going to make it because. It's really exhausting. No wonder we need 8 hours to recover. So meditation is about stopping resistant thought. And if you can stop resistant thought for a few minutes a day, it allows your inner being to speak forth. That's why when people meditate, they often get amazing inspiration. When you go in the shower, you actually usually just, you're just focusing on the suds in the shower. All of a sudden you have the idea percolate. So it's about stopping resistant thought. The way to stop resistant thought is meditation, taking a nap, and also starting your day with focused intention. So every little cell in my body as well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is fantastic. My DNA is constantly renewing. The more you buoying up with this positive thought, the more resistant thought has to fall away. It's in the absence. So I think all illness is really just the absence of knowing to think positively about your DNA and your liver cells and, the bones in your body and all of this. Also, an important part of this thought process is being happy and being playful. That's part of being in alignment. So the other thing we talked about is getting into alignment. In order to what's called alignment is not doing a perfect yoga pose. It's really, what do you guys do during the day that is so indulgent and like sinfully enjoyable that you think you shouldn't be doing it all day? Now, there are a few things probably you shouldn't be doing all day, but just anything that you do that, you play, even, video games you shouldn't play all day maybe, but a couple of, hours or an hour out of the day or half an hour or 15 minutes, going to the beach, going for a hike, playing guitar, doing art, doing the adult coloring books, spending time with a loved one, but really playful, frivolous things, something that you never let yourself do. I don't think we have Pam on here today, but Pam is such a good example of that. Pam jumps out of airplanes, right, all the time. She's done something like 10,000 jumps in her lifetime. So she loves to jump out of airplanes. That makes her truly happy. Anything that makes you happy brings you into alignment. So be more frivolous. Take more vacations, because the vacations and the playtime, go out and get yourself toys or something, whatever it is that you really, really like, because the more you play, the more you go into alignment, and the more you are in alignment, it attracts like a magnet success and everything that you want, because you have less resistant thought and you're very, very happy. You're very fulfilled. You're feeling good. This magnetizes everything. People tend to be more successful when they fall in love. Everything in their life starts to fall into place because they're in alignment. So when you're doing things that make you happy, that is the best use of your time, because it's putting you in an emotional state that allows you to receive everything. So I don't want to say lazier, but go on vacation more, take more time off, because the time that you're out there doing those things, the universe is very busy bringing all of those things to you, because you're not fighting against them. You're like, oh, this feels so good. I love doing this silly thing. I love going on the roller coaster. I love playing tennis. And all of that energy magnetizes everything that you're wanting. It's the craziest paradox ever. So the people who are having more fun are the people who are really applying good use of their time. It's all about playtime, because emotions magnetize. Haven't you ever noticed that when you go on vacation and you go away, you have the best perspective about your business and what you need to do next? And maybe even when you're on vacation, you meet that person or discover that product or whatever it is that you want to use in your business or whatever it is going forward. So when you play or feel good, you bring more of that to you in any form. Whatever it is that you're wanting, you magnetize from a very positive place. Like an opposite example would be, doing things that really make you exhausted. So when you're trying to work and it's really like you have writer's block, go and do something else. Take a nap, go play tennis, go for a hike. This will open everything up so you can write or create when you're in flow, when you feel good. That's the only place you really can create anything lasting from. So practice this year becoming more childlike. Find the most playful, silly things. Find clay. Pick up a paintbrush or whatever it is. Get to play the guitar, or buy something silly like what is that, Guitar Hero, or whatever it is. So they have a true purpose and a profound effect. They're immensely, immensely practical. Now let's talk about the Genius libraries to create affirmations, and you can even create a panel for core beliefs that you wish to release. So we'll do a little mini exercise of this afterwards, but write down the affirmations that you want to create. It could be from the most mundane, and I really suggest that you start with mundane things, like you're going to the grocery store. I want to find the most amazing new type of fruit that I've never tried before, but which could really benefit my health. And you write that down and then you think about it. And when you go to the store, you actually run into the produce person who tells you, hey, we have this new dragon fruit and it's on sale today. Do you think you'd like to try a piece of this? And so it goes like that. So you start off with the small things and it starts to generate bigger and bigger momentum. Okay, so we'll talk more about this, but your custom libraries can be an amazing ally to you creating that which you want. And the neuro remedy, I can't emphasize enough saying that manifestation into the neuro remedy. It's sort of like radionics. Like I heard this one amazing example of using a radionics device. You would speak into it and then you would shine the light. It was a light vehicle. So you say the affirmation, then you shine the light. And so the guy gave this example of one person who had the device, his kid was bleeding. And so he yelled into the radionics device, stop bleeding, stop bleeding, stop bleeding, stop bleeding. He recorded it and then he shined the light on the wound. And within seconds, it stopped bleeding as profusely as it had been before. That's the idea with the neuro remedy, is you're turning sound into healing frequency. So yes, your voice and your thoughts are powerful, but the neuro remedy gives you even more of that. And we'll look at that. If you don't know how to do the neuro remedy, I did an example in the training video program that a lot of you on here have, and it's pretty easy to do. You just record your intention. So write down a very elaborate script. I'm now affirming that I'm going on vacation in the south of France, and I'm going to travel first class to my destination. I'm going to stay in the most amazing villa that I've ever imagined and meet the most incredible and interesting people. So you could say that and you could play it for the next 14 days, before you get online to make your reservations or before you realize that you have enough money in your bank account to do it. So whatever you're thinking, keep making it bigger, keep asking for more. That's what your inner being really wants. Doesn't it feel really good when you do that thing that you've really wanted to do? It just feels so affirming to your inner being that is immensely deserving. You can also focus on this. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I'll talk more about it in the future. The chestahedron is the result of Frank Chester, who studied sacred geometry for his whole life, and it is like the pinnacle of his career. This is the energy represented by sacred geometry of the heart. And so by focusing on the chestahedron with the idea of that which you want to manifest, it is a vehicle towards quickening your manifestation. So if you get up in the morning and you read your affirmation and you meditate, spend a few moments just focusing on this. So you could just lightly focus on it by sort of looking at it, and it's really interesting how symmetrical it is, and isn't that shape kind of interesting? This is the energy of the vortex within your heart, and this will take you closer into and help you to quicken the power of the manifestation of that which you're wanting. So try it with something small, like, I want to find the perfect pants today when I go shopping. Whatever it is, try to I want to run the perfect 5 miles today, or whatever it might be. And even if it's something greater, you'll find that this is like a magic, sacred geometrical construct that will allow you to get closer to what you want. So this is a key. This is a doorway. You can also just use this on your computer, and then you could just overlay some writing on top of it. Like you could put your affirmation over the chestahedron, and that will make it even more powerful. You could take a picture of this and upload it into your Genius as a category. So the chestahedron category, and then put all of your affirmations under the chestahedron category. You could name it chestahedron manifestation, take a picture of it, put that picture as the category picture, and then start to create from there. Now we're getting into the juicy stuff, right, you guys? Aren't you glad? Yeah. Thank you for hanging around so you understand the sort of entree into this material. But now we're getting to the juicy stuff. You can also use the toroidal field. This is sort of something like what would ultimately be sort of a free energy generator. So this is made from the toroidal field. So this is something you can focus on. It's actually got a magnet in it. And you can imagine this, focus on this in your meditation or look at it first thing in the morning. And I will get you some pictures of these so you can use them, some JPEGs of these. And you look at this and just focus on, this is sort of like the chestahedron, the same sort of creative energy, just focus on that which you want. And just like this is a magnet, imagine that it's a magnet of abundance. So even if I just say now, $2,000 in 10 days, $2,000 in 10 days, $2,000 in 10 days. And I get that you want to add more to it. For my travel plans that are going to be $2,000, I'm now manifesting that $2,000 in just 10 days. And I completely know that I'm absolutely capable of creating this money out of the universe for my highest good, because I want this wonderful vacation in Kauai on the island in the very perfect place that I want to stay. So you sort of goose it up like the focus wheel, and you focus on this for maybe 5 minutes in the morning. So this is another thing that's sort of like a doorway. It opens a doorway, an energetic doorway to manifestation. Another one is the Kubera numbers. And you guys, this kind of a number chart, I'm going to tell you about it, is way more than what it looks like. And I want to tell you about it. But these Kubera numbers, all you need to do is focus on these numbers very, very gently in the morning. You just get up, and haven't you always noticed sort of the relationships and how interesting numbers are? Numbers have incredible power to create. And when you see the 333 and the 777, there's a lot of meaning and significance to those numbers. So there's a huge, huge ability to manifest. The Kubera numbers are a huge doorway to manifestation, you guys. So if you focus 27, 20, 25, 22, 24, sounds like a lotto drawing or something, or bingo. 27, 20, 25, 22, 24, 26, 23, 28, 21. You just go back. You're not thinking about anything. You're just sort of gently, you can even just gently focus on the numbers, bring them into focus, bring them out of focus, or you could even go through, use auspicious numbers. Just read them 3 times or 9 times. 27, 20, 25, 22, 24, 26, 23, 20. Okay. Why are they powerful? You guys, this is like a mystery wrapped up in an enigma. There's so much to this that you can't even imagine. What's happening here is on the next page. Every number, if you notice, let's go back to this on the diagonal. Whoopsie. Let's try to go back. Uh-oh. Here we go. Okay. This number on the diagonal here, this number, and I believe these numbers and these numbers all add up to the same thing. If you add any of these numbers up, they're all going to add up to the same number. So that's why this configuration of numbers is very, very special, and they all add up to 72, and 7 plus 2 is 9. I know that that's very auspicious. I don't know all of that, but there's something about this configuration of numbers, particularly with attraction. So when you want to manifest something, you want to make sure you're focused on something really positive, right? $2,000 in 10 days for my vacation to Kauai. Make sure you're focused on something very positive, right? Because you want to expand that energy. So anyway, you do this in the morning, and it's a doorway to manifestation. This use of a number chart like this, and there are several of them, has been used literally as the seed or the code for creating free energy generators. So when you look on YouTube and you see the little secret, people sort of, woven to YouTube who have quietly created free energy, which is what we're all heading towards. Eventually, there'll be no oil necessary, no coal, no any of this. We're getting closer. It's the biggest sort of explosive thing that'll happen in our lifetime, is being freed from nuclear and coal energy, and it's coming. And that is their realization that all source energy is within us, and is infinite and can be tapped in by anyone. And so all of our homes will be heated through free energy. Our cars will run on free energy. And all of that starts with a seed that is in this type of number configuration. So these very, very special number configurations where the numbers add up and down and across and on the diagonal has a very, very special manifestational energy within it, which is so interesting, so fascinating. So by focusing on this really gooses up your ability to manifest. It's another doorway. So pick your favorite one or pick several. It's going to allow you to enter into that manifestation in a way that's super, super fun and super satisfying because it's so effective. You could also create an abundance affirmation category and use this as the picture. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to your libraries and you'll notice that a custom library, a category always starts with a picture. And you can bypass the picture, but you could take a picture of this Kubera and call it abundance affirmations, and under the Kubera square, then put all of your abundance affirmations as different custom libraries. Does anybody not know how to create a custom library? So maybe just write in, I know how to create one, or I don't know how to create one, and let me know if you guys know how to create custom libraries. So as you're doing that and letting me know if you know how to create custom libraries, in your processes, start with small things. Goddess, full of grace, help me to find a parking space, or I'm now manifesting a parking space, or one new client in 24 hours. Or I want to find the best shirt on Amazon for me at this time to look my best. Or I want to go to YouTube and find the perfect song to listen to uplift me or to bring me my manifestation today. And magical things will start to happen. Start small and start to build on your confidence to create these. Also create coherence around you. Coherence is sort of like it's like the thing that helps you to create flow more easily. It's like the perfection of the universe intentionally personified in your home. Coherence is naturally everywhere in nature. When you go outside, you partially feel good because every plant is grown and every tree is grown and everything that you see outside is in nature's perfect order. So that's why we feng shui our house, because we kind of screw all of that up. But you can create that perfection, which facilitates flow in your body. It can create health in your body, but it can also be another doorway. In other words, the more clear your home is of negative influences or just lack of coherence. Like, for example, if you like to play heavy metal music in your home, it's going to be more hard to create that which you want. If you have the news playing in your home, it's going to be more difficult to create that which you want. If you listen to, just trying to think of some, like, whatever, Netflix, and it's just playing in your home all the time, not that Netflix is bad or good, but it's probably going to be more difficult. I mean, depending on what show you're watching, I guess. So fill your home with sacred sounds on loop, even if they're just slightly audible, and you even have other things going on. So the chanting of Om, Tibetan bowl, Solfeggio tones, Gregorian chanting, sacred drumming, didgeridoo, put them on an iPod somewhere and put them on loop in your home. Why? Because they will change the whole cellular makeup of your home. They will recalibrate the cells that you're literally, remember it's 99.99999% space. So they recreate all the consciousness in your home. Your whole home is filled with consciousness. And the more that your home is filled with this positive consciousness, it's like, I don't know, sort of like a slip and slide, or like going from a slide, like just sliding down instead of having to climb up a ladder. It's very, very easy to create in a place that has a lot of coherence. So that's why people go to an ashram or a monastery and they feel very good when they go in there. It isn't because of a religious thing. It's because there's so much coherence in there. Coherence from prayer, coherence from chanting, coherence from didgeridoo. These are all coherent. They create flow. They are connected with your inner being. That's why you feel so good when you hear them. It's like Gregorian chanting. I can never listen to Gregorian chanting without feeling a deep sense of stillness within me. So when I feel like I can't focus on something, I'll play Gregorian chanting because it allows all of my thoughts to kind of settle in. And Gregorian chanting is actually chanting using the solfeggio tones, which is another thing that you can do with your genius, is you can just play solfeggio tones, or you could just play the Fibonacci sequence tone. So that's another great way to be in alignment in the morning. You can also imprint coherence into your food or into your water. So immerse yourself into this coherence because it's like a conduit or facilitation. It's like, you guys, do you want things to be really, really hard? Then don't do this. But if you want them to get really, really easy, like a doorway or a lightning a chariot or Uber ride to your success and manifestation, then use these because they will help you to create coherence. So place the flower of life on your water bottle. Go to Etsy and they have all types of sacred geometrical stickers on Etsy. People are creating these all the time. Place pictures of coherence, pyramids, crystals, everywhere around your food, in your kitchen, in your home, to lift the vibration in your home. Smudge your place often. There's a really good book that you can buy called Spiritual Clearing. You can get it on Amazon, download it on your Kindle. I'll try to find the author. And it has all types of different rituals for clearing your home. They're really, really good. You could also imprint coherence. You could use the Remedy plate that I now have. Very inexpensive, not the $500 Labyrinth imprinter, $149 at awakentotalhealth.com, and it can act as a broadcast plate. So you can imprint coherence in your home, or you can imprint coherence on your body, or you can imprint coherence into your water. For example, if on your Genius you play sacred geometry, or you play the Fibonacci sequence, if you play the solfeggio tones, you can imprint coherence. Coherence is that conduit to manifestation. The more you sort of even goose up coherence, like, well, I'd love to hear sacred sounds. Well, I would love to imprint my water. Well, I would love to wear sacred, geometry on my body in a t-shirt. Anything like that is going to sort of be like, putting you on, a very, very clear path to manifestation. You can imprint from the Genius into water. You can imprint from the Genius to you, and you can use that with the broadcast plate. Or if you have an imprinter already, you can use the imprinter. Alignment is all about getting happy. It's ceasing resistant thought. It's going out and playing and doing things that are fun, but it's also meditating. So I suggest using the Headspace app or some type of meditation. And these are types of ways of getting into alignment. Have playtime. Seriously, when was the last time you went to the toy store? Just go to the toy store and get something that, like, a spirograph or adult coloring book or Play-Doh or something that feels really, really silly, but feels really, really good. Hiking, games, art, music, Guitar Hero, get a Wii or whatever it might be. Dance, go on vacation more. Take vacations often. Taking a vacation often is your greatest investment in your success and manifestation because it gets you into alignment. As long as it doesn't cause you stress. If you like traveling, if you don't like traveling, then you shouldn't go on vacation. If you love to go on vacation, but get away if you can from your environment as often as possible too. It really does help you to get into alignment. Immerse yourself in coherent thought, chanting, repetition of affirmation, anything to keep your mind occupied because of, let's come back to this in a second, but because of this, if you've ever seen this, and we're almost at the end, you guys, so thank you. It'll just be a couple more minutes. This is the dancing Shiva, and you've all seen this before somewhere, right? Oh yeah, that looks familiar. I saw that at my ashram or whatever it is. But what is Shiva on top of? Shiva is always seen dancing on the demon, which is down here. And this demon is not any political person, president, prime minister, or anybody. It is the demon of forgetfulness. And it is the nature of human beings to think negative thoughts in the absence of consciously thinking positive ones, and to sort of go towards forgetting that you're divine, that you're deserving, that all of these things about you that are true about your inner being. It is our nature. We tend to forget. So let me just make some summary things here. Again, the recipe is, I don't think we're going to have time for examples or volunteers, but the recipe is to create your vision, to get into alignment, to do the processes, and to commit to repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. That's what it is. If you will do that even for the next 30 days, whatever it is, I guarantee you're going to get very, very close to what you want, and you will be extremely surprised. 2017 is going to be an amazing year for manifestation of that which you want. So go very, very big and expansive, but start with very small things to start to establish your faith and your belief. And just like when you start off for fitness training, you have to go slow. So go out and create some really wonderful small things that feel really, really good. And I want to hear about all of them. So get ready, get set, go create. And just a couple more things. I have a couple things coming up in the new year. I'm not going to tell you about them now, but just stay tuned for my Observing Wellness program. I'm going to have I shouldn't say juice webinars. They're not juicing webinars. They're just juicy webinars starting in January. I'll let you know about those. Just new webinars of things that I'm teaching. And an energy medicine conference in 2017 that I'm hosting in Portland. And I'll tell you about that also in the coming months. So I know it's getting later for everyone. Let me just do a couple of things. Comments that people have said. Anything you guys want to tell me about before we go? Let's just say maybe 2 more minutes here. Anything that you have experienced or comments, that things that you've noticed in the time that we've been talking, or anything that you want to share about a new awareness that you've come to, or something that you've now adopted as a new vision, or something that you've noticed. Let's maybe in these last couple of minutes just share that with the group, and just let us know anything about what you've noticed or experienced over the past, believe it or not, 2 hours that we've been together. Noreen says, I've just put the Kubera numbers into my libraries. It is easier than in the beginning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. I did for the infinity. I don't know what that is. Okay, so I have more open. I love the concepts. Thank you so much, Alexander. I appreciate that. Also, how do I do the neuro remedy? Okay, I will make sure that I send you some information about how to do the neuro remedy. We're getting some people who need to hop off the line here. So let me sum up here. You will get the recording. I'll send you some information about the neuro remedy. If there's anything that I've left out, let's pick this up on Monday at the support call, and I can go into neuro remedy, how to create custom categories. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. I really want you to listen to the recording, which I'm going to send to you. I want you to have a super successful and manifestation anytime, whether it's 2017, 2018, June of 2017, whether you're turning 53, 23, or 83. It's about the present moment. So I hope you can assimilate the concepts I talked about today. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about your juicy, juicy manifestations in the next year. I'm sending you much, much love, big, big hugs. I hope to see or talk to all of you soon. Have a wonderful and blessed, happy, happy New Year. If you have any other comments or anything else, I'm still going to be sort of hanging on the line here as you guys sort of go out and go on to what you're doing. So I'll just read a couple of those. And everybody, happy, happy New Year. Much, much love. Many blessings. Thanks again. I'll follow up with recording, with the PDF, with the chestahedron, with the Kubera. So you'll get an email, and have a wonderful time ringing in the new year, everyone. Take care and be well.